It was kind of an unusual case.
You have to give up the way you used to live your life.
There was no one to blame.
You have to be open to make changes in your life.
There was no return.
Figure out a miracle.
You no one to
have
blame.
It
Was a big nightmare. I had no clue that living your life in general could be changed so dramatically, just by the simple act of not being able to breathe. My dreams of being a doctor were gone. I was left with only one thought: my next breath. My name is Rose Black. I was diagnosed with constrictive bronchiolitis obliterans. I was 32 years old. My children were going to turn 3 and 4 years old.
Maybe she was just out of breath from doing some house chores and stuff, just tired, possibility catching a cold or something. So it wasn't like an alarming thing.
I was cleaning. I had to run down the stairs for a second, and I turned around to run back up the stairs, and I felt out of breath.
Really sure exactly what the underlying problem was, but clearly saw that she had abnormal lung function.
For somebody to say I'm out of breath or I'm not feeling well, we go through a lot of that.
I went to my doctors, and they did like a little Spiro test. And over the weekend, I had a severe attack where I could not catch my breath. And I got to the pulmonologist's office. There's a little chart that he had of checking out patients and how severe their breathing problems were. When I was 20% lung volume.
Big breath in.
And there was like a 80 to 90%. And it was almost like that little chart that they hold up and they say, how much pain are you in? And they circled the no return face. That was in December of 2006.
I think the biggest fear is having that realization that, she wouldn't make it.
Whatever I had, he just didn't have a word for it yet. They sent me home from the hospital with oxygen from the biopsy.
The cause is unknown. From our perspective, we were focused on her candidacy for a lung transplant.
The only chance I had was go get on the transplant list or I was going to die.
I don't think we got put on the list until close to springtime, I would say.
You go back every month to see your pulmonology team, and with that you get blood tests every month. They'll do like a 6-minute walk like every 3 months. He said, I don't remember my mom ever being well. And I wanted to just cry.
It was pretty hard. I didn't get to do a lot of things that kids got to do with their moms.
There's quite a few times where I tried to leave the house, go out to the park alone, and couldn't do it. And that broke my heart. And then I'd have to sit there and be all strong, and not let you see that I saw that you guys were scared.
Do I stay up later, eat less, whatever I had to do to make sure I was there to help out. And if we didn't have the help, we just had to make it happen.
She had mentioned this several times, is that when you look at someone that has that type of condition, they're sitting at rest, they don't really look like they're particularly ill, but when they get up and move around, they can't do anything.
During that first year, that was extremely difficult. It was hard not being able to be who I wanted to be. My father's transplant coordinator.
This is her.
Calling. Her words were, you don't have to rush, but I wanted to know if you could get to the hospital within the next 3 hours. We found a match. We have lungs for you. And I was like, are you sure you're calling for me? You mean you're calling for my dad? And she's like, no, I know I'm your dad's coordinator. Your coordinator is busy right now. I'm saying, are you sure? I'm really, I'm giving her. I said, does Dr. Gerges know in their lungs that I'm not gonna reject? These are lungs for me. And she's like, yes, we think we do. That was one of those little monumental days for Spectrum Health because they were doing 4 transplants between October 4th and October 5th, the 4 and 24.
She told me that she was getting the double lung transplant, and I went to go get my sister and my dad, and we just cried and celebrated.
Hi, I'm Becky. Call us back as soon as you can. We have really good news. It's really good, and I'm really happy. So, when you get this message, please call us back as soon as you can. All right, bye.
It was like almost one of those unbelievable things because for 9 years, you know, we had gotten to the point there is no match. You know, her antibodies were so high to the point in our life believing that, okay, it's not going to happen. We just have to deal with what we have and make the best of it.
So I get to the hospital and they started explaining to us, you know, that there was other people receiving transplants at that time, you know, what was going on. I had studied it. I knew that this was not going to be a walk in the park. So I was afraid. Obviously, this was going to be a major surgery. And they come in and tell us about the, you know, the donor. And this is kind of like the deciding time, whether or not it's a go or not. And they told us that, you know, their team is there and they took a look at the lungs and they like the match. They think it's the best chance that I'm ever going to get. And they want to go ahead. And that was the moment that I thought, okay, I really did get the call. I think I started crying. I remember asking the nurse about my donor. Is my donor dead already? How does that work? Is there a family okay? I remember crying. I mourned all night. I couldn't sleep. They kept telling me to sleep, but I was so upset. I realized that right then somebody else was in a room and their family was around them and they were dying. And you know, their family wasn't happy like mine was. I was looking at my family and they were laughing and they were excited and they were thinking that this is the start of a new life, that everything was going to be all better. And I don't know, I felt like I was taking that away from somebody. And of course I was being thankful and I felt a little bit afraid, but there wasn't a lot of fear. I was ready. I had been ready for so many years. I was so ready.
I almost felt like I had another child coming into the world. It was that same feeling when the doctor said, you have a baby girl, you have a baby boy.
I don't know, I saw the excitement on my children's faces. And that made me happy. It gave me strength. A lot of pain. There's 4 chest tubes, so those cost a lot of pain. They get you up on the side of the bed, get you standing as soon as they can.
Good job, Mom.
How you feeling?
Look, I can breathe.
Yay! Awesome. And your oxygen number's great too.
Oh wow, I can breathe. You all right?
No.
I love you, baby. And get you walking as soon as they can. So that in itself is pretty amazing. It went really well. I think I was only in the hospital for 11 days.
When you have an organ transplant, you're trading one lifestyle for another. You're on meds for the rest of your life.
It was hard, slower than I think that we all expected.
I'm worried that she might get rejected by her lungs, even though everything seems great right now.
It was hard. It was emotional too, because I think they expected me to be all better too. And I wasn't. And so that was hard.
It took me a really long time to get used to not coming home and trying to look for her by following her cord.
Been a very long adjustment period. You ring it every year, you survive after transplant. Extraordinarily lucky in my transplant, considering where I was at, considering the odds that were stacked against me.
Never close any doors as far as opportunity to grow in that situation.
It's life. Make it count.
It's all right to feel that a person may not make it through. You know, it's nothing wrong with that. But along with that, you have to be open to make changes in your life.
Tell the people that you love them.
I love her, and she's the strongest person I know.
Save a life. Be a donor. So it's harder than it looks.
Look how solid you are.
Oh yeah.
Very impressive. Very impressive.